the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
Already for young some of our son could be some from Nsem-Pii TV. So I'm saying cheap and a bit to just say a Boakye Agyarko. Any action, a dear free, a year race. Man, I can say, and I'm a man banner to you know, special delegates conference in a cocoa banana, a could be as in any permuno, a dear night paper, neighbor say, yes, I could tom so be near Bako. Ama abeka aye 4 no ma 5 na on 4th November yakotuni yi ba ko pe ama flagbearer ama aye the new patriotic party no ana ne ana pe ya betu just say Boakye Agyarko e de letter ba bontin say ono watwe ne ho nti ebe ya adeni mu enko na onko so ema omunyinum na on 4th November yinku yi ba ko e ma na flagbearer ema aye the new patriotic party NPP amanyuko no na ena wie ya na aye Boakye Agyarko ne special aid edi Nsem-Pii abitu bia na nsem a abrante ne broso no nie nti a eye Boakye Agyarko otwe ne ho enam Nsem-Pii a eye general secretary eye Justin Frimpong Kodua ochese okaye enu nti na ma eye Boakye Agyarko ede let aba bonten se ono watwe ne ho ati fo mu kunkutie eye Boakye Agyarko ono abo Boakye Agyarko ne special aid nsema odi tu ya minti no
a special aid to the Honorable Boakye Agyarko. Francis, ekosi saying ni akwaba.
Medasi pi mini apenyene akwenye ya diamame.
Na ete saying
nyame adom ahoden wo ho. Megidi se onu atifo nso ahoden wo ho.
Nyame adom obia ho ye. Enti basically from statement enra mu issue ye no. That's the Honorable Boakye Agyarko wa hohoro ne nsa anything presidential election with the MPP on.
No senior yankrata ni sikyere no. Inti se Obama makwenya kakra ma menkyere nsem ni mu kakra bi na etiefo titru party for inya entiase no.
Me ma talk to yes.
Yeko Saturday na yeko to ya ba special electoral college no. Yekoyi nipa dodo no na aba enum. Na yekoba no ebeto odwa se enum na ye hwehwe no afedie yenya ensia na tese e wo se yeko runoff na runoff ne ho ntotoye ne ahoboa na yekusu a ye ya enra ebeto odwa se National Council akohia na eginatu o mafa ne se runoff ya eba so yi nipa 955 a enano memende twam yi omutu ye ni enye omu na ebesa to nemum National Council ekuo no a okan omudodo omu ya 135 omu na ombeto na reason ti a omude yesa ne se yedi kan omu se budget constraint sika eni ho sa se yedi be runoff na the 16 regions ebium amanone officers a omu free amanone ebeto abameminde twam no National Council susu se dodo na ekọ back intino yenya nipa dodo na amomo meto ebio National Council kan wo brofun se expediency se de be ya nintem so intino ni miensa reasons miensa intino National Council susu se 135 National Council members spending the beto
na meba sa
Boakye Agyarko
meba menua sa reasons miensa na woma asisia no. Where did you get them from?
From the General Secretary's press engagement.
In someone in some trouble no.
Me patwane.
Because I have the official statement at General Secretary in Sasha in front of me. But in this statement, wama reasons be you are saying say the
I'm quoting the General Secretary from the press engagement Oye Nenra.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yensaka press engagement no and you responded to the chairman of the elections committee say adia say a National Council no unfair and then it is an act of injustice. Esan say there is an agreed guidelines yediko election and then you don't change the guidelines in the middle of the game. Yenya and to be say Yako general election December 7th. Na say akoba ne say MPP and NDC Yako runoff. Na electoral commission abase Ghana for runoff ya yekwe sika ni ho runoff ya yekwe yennuan mom frama no ne babeto no mo sa akọ runoff ya yekwe ne ntamu ntunti no mo amoto aba edikan no enyem na mbeto runoff na emum ye di kuo bi te say parliamentarians for eneto runoff no eba sa se Ghana for enye yede se bia na akosi wo MPP mu san senti na Yewura Boakye Agyarko atwe krata akoma chairman of the elections committee say MPP ye be yenhwe ha ma ye bu yankasa ye mra so e de mra ahye nsem dia ene na Yewura Boakye Agyarko ompese odi ni din anasa ne ho ebetwitwiri enwoma bi sei inti no watwe ne ho afri about 17 no so montoa so na munye maba at the end of the day no oye party ni odaso party ni na bibia o se oye boa party ni be bekoso aye sene oye ne sa no na we dey me dem anu si na me to question ba ko atum say say 4th November ye beto na ye flag bearer
sure
say ye to na se no se ko run off National Council ne beto e decide ana
That's an interesting question, but is it not something the constitution of the party? Because if you look at provisional a share party necessary omunya aspirants more than 5 omunya super delegate conference, that provision did not contemplate say a tie a bebanti constitutional provision and kabibia emfa a possible runoff and what the party should do. And according to the party, elections committee, and a day process I said there would be a runoff. Even the elections committee rules, they just ended. I said there will be a runoff. Oman procedure and what will go into that runoff. And National Council feels there is a lacuna, which lacuna the same constitution authorizes them or empowers them to deal with. And now, how the runoff will be done, why do you have a problem with that?
All right, let's agree. Say yes, national councils make regulations where the constitution does not speak directly to. Yes, but then again, don't you think say unfair to say that? Oma omoto 955 now omoto they are not going to vote for the runoff. Name a subsection of that 955 no na omobe assuming the role or the functions of the 955 now omoko to last Saturday no. In any case, when there is an election and there comes a runoff, nipaku omoko to no oma na to runoff no.
Yeah, and some can argue say when there is an election na runoff bar, there are rules that govern that particular election. If in that rules, it's stated in black and white, say runoff bar, the same people at Troy and the sign atwa, there is a point. When in the regulation governing the election, that regulation says when there is a tie, there will be a runoff. And stated in black and white who will vote in that runoff. Can you then assume, say, or more a Troy and a chinchinachi or so almost to runoff, no? And now, more constitution and National Council, say, looking at the exigencies of the time, the prevailing circumstances, no? National Council can decide, say, okay, runoff, ye bear runoff, no? By a quiet befaswa. Can the National Council take that decision?
Before I answer that, let me draw your attention to some of the arguments a buyer, a man runoff, a share the guidelines. Prior to the elections, some of the presidential aspirants made propositions say, "Yen use a composite ballot. Statistically, it will be impossible for a runoff." To say the to a national vice chairman abana no ukwa o selected 3 ukwa no selected 3 in that case no statistically no we run of 20 just like how a committee abano statistically runoff MM.
Okay.
All these provisions were made. They were suggested to the elections committee. That is where they brought in the case. Say, yankoto 1:1. Na say ebane say, ebimu enya abanibia. Then we will go for a runoff. And ordinarily, say yakoto aba na say runoff bar. Omo koto first no, oma ne to runoff no. But here is the case. People are arguing. Say now, because the law is silent on that, National Council can pass a sub-guideline, and I say an addendum, to change the rules of the game and say only National Council, for which is a subsection of the Special College per NN Court. First of all, it is an unfair treatment. It is an act of injustice. Because National Council 435 cannot assume the role and position of 955 for Omokoto last Saturday.
On FM.
Because of the enyese number ni so akeke, but just say National Council change rules no midway and o boss ewo problem with, right?
Yes, he feels it is an act of injustice and then it is not fair. Violation of the guidelines. If that is what is going to happen this Saturday, and yeah, watching him away free.
But is your boss also minded, say, realistically, say, Oshe, the cost implications any idea at the end of the day, a tie, and that tie has to be broken for one person to join 4 na akano. And when there is within that democratic space, if there is any formula to break that tie, which would be an election of a sort, any idea, why should your boss be worried? Looking at the cost complaints, almost saying it was 17 voting centers, delegate all of those considerations, why is your boss not minded by those considerations as well?
First of all, there was an election guideline which stated, if there is a runoff, it will be held on 2nd September, which also means, elections committee ain't means sorry preoccupy and for dating she says a runoff bar you better that say. It means elections committee omaya hoboa to hodada. Because I believe that someone ya hoboa to her omon kofa date and me say runoff bar you better say. Enti adia mabua mo ho ama date say run of any bibian untimi mba back say to say the sika ni ho enti no yankwa no kakra ne ma nipa kuma bi na ento.
Wow. And even if nipa kuma ni bi kra to a sa nipa kuma na would help the party break that tie, still amo de mo emfa mo ho.
It is unfair for nipa kuma bi say omune beto abano on behalf of the 955 delegates.
Very well. The Honorable Boakye Agyarko says still he is a member of the NPP and he will continue doing his best to support the party, right?
No, correct.
But as far as this elections is concerned, we're pulling out.
Watching every home. But then again, it was a letter directed the office of the chairman of the elections committee. We are still waiting for
a response from them.
Exactly.
It is a response, based on the response, boss beat me as a son adjoin.
A brave response by let's hold on, say response nibeba. Then whatever that happens, biano yet beba betuja.
But now a letter. Mode kwa koma chairman of the elections committee na mu hope say response bebano so we ask him to two no ma mode kwa chere no because he's already made up his mind. We're making a decision that irrespective of the reasons the elections committee chairman would give on no wakase process na errant decision unconstitutional and that we're refraining from the entire runoff. Ain't really, what response be on a most high train from the committee chairman?
At the end of the day, in the letter, no, we cited some unfair treatment. And so, if for nothing at all, the president, the chairman of the Presidential Elections Committee should reply so that we will know the justification for some of these unfair treatment I cited to a letter.
Apart from, because I know, sir, your boss or you be a stickler for due process, for excellence, making sure say BBA aye pepe. Is he minded, after withdrawing, in order not to allow for the perpetuation of an illegality, is he minded to want to test this in court? Because I've heard different arguments. Say National Council was our power. Some have also said, say delegates be our toaba in the super delegate conference. He again has the right to be part of the runoff, a voting right which is guaranteed by the Constitution, and a human right